Good morning and welcome to the Bad Apple Report. It's 7:30 a.m., bright and early right here at home on the range. And I'm actually sitting here under the peach tree this morning. It's beautiful out. And I messed up yesterday. If you watch the Bad Apple Report every day, you may have noticed. The soldier who shot and killed the utility worker, he really deserved his own, but he didn't get it. I messed up. Instead, I switched the stories out on accident, and I wanted to bring you the story of these terrible cops who sent a man off to prison for 60 years. That's right. He served 25 years. Since 1999, he's been sitting in jail when these cops knew he was innocent. And not only did they know he was innocent, they knew who the real killer was. And they hired that real killer to be an informant, after all. Can you believe that? Yes, of course you can. So, needless to say, those cops are being sued. But we want to start off today. We're going to share that story with you. That's a great story. But we're going to start off with this burglar. Okay, how about that? We're going to start off with a burglar cop. Imagine that. And here we go.
Tonight, a Pennsylvania State Police trooper is on the other side of the law. Jennifer Barrasso dug into why he was arrested while off duty in Fayette County this weekend.
I obtained a copy of the criminal complaint filed by state police in Waynesburg. James Stevenson is charged with burglary and aggravated assault. The complaint says he got violent when he found his girlfriend in bed with another man. In the middle of the night, just before 1 Sunday morning, police say James Stevenson went into this home on Oak Street in Connellsville. According to the criminal complaint, Stevenson found a woman getting ready to have sex with another man. KDK has learned that woman is Stevenson's girlfriend. The complaint says Stevenson jumped on top of the man and started hitting him. His girlfriend was able to move out of the way. She told police Stevenson was beating the man's face. He then grabbed his girlfriend by the shoulders and told her to get dressed. She left, got into her car, and took off. She wasn't hurt. The victim's father found his son unconscious in his bed. He sat him up and woke him and wiped the blood from his face. Outside, he confronted Stevenson, reaching through Stevenson's driver's side window to grab him, and Stevenson opened the door, knocking him to the ground and breaking his glasses. The victim was treated at the hospital for cuts and bruises to his face and a broken nose. We talked to him outside of his house, but he declined an interview. Stevenson left the scene. State police in Waynesburg filed charges.
James T. Stevenson Jr.
This is video from 2021 showing Stevenson being sworn in with a new class of state troopers. A source tells me he was arraigned and is out on bond and on unpaid leave from work. The victim's neighbor, Dan Carr, says the off-duty trooper is sworn to protect the community and should be prosecuted.
He's a state cop. It doesn't really matter who it is, but especially him. I mean, somebody that has that authority over doing something like that, he should be, prosecuted. My reaction is that's if you can't trust us, you're somebody is supposed to be protected and the law and all that. That's even makes it even a lot worse.
KDK has learned that James Stevenson filed a discrimination lawsuit against state police and several supervisors at the Chambersburg Barracks in 2022. That case is still active. I reached out to the Fayette County District Attorney. No comment at this point. I also reached out to state police. They're not commenting right now either. In Uniontown, Jennifer Barrasso.
Let me guess, their sons and daughters go on to be cops and do the same thing. Here's another case. A cop withheld evidence in a case that sent a man to jail for 60 years, the Indiana lawsuit says. After spending nearly 25 years in a maximum security prison for a crime he did not commit, an Indiana man is now suing the police officers involved in his case, saying they framed him for murder. Leon Benson, aged 47, was wrongfully convicted of first-degree murder in 1999 in connection to the death of 25-year-old Casey Schoen. Schoen was shot in the head 5 times while sitting in his truck in downtown Indianapolis around 3:30 a.m. on August 8, 1998, according to police. Benson was exonerated in 2023 at 24 years into his 60-year sentence, following a joint investigation by the University of San Francisco's Racial Justice Clinic and the Marion County Prosecutor's Office Conviction Integrity Unit, according to court records. Benson and Colleen Bunch, Sean's sister, filed a lawsuit on May 20th against the city of Indianapolis as well as 5 Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department officers, accusing them of fabricating, manipulating, and withholding significant evidence pointing to another man as Sean's killer. I love to hear this. These cops are going to be held accountable. They're going to have to pay for this, I hope, with punitive damages. McClatchy News reached out to the IMPD, which declined to comment on pending litigation. McClatchy News also reached out to the city officials for comment on May 22nd, but did not immediately hear back. I wonder what the city officials are going to say, you guys. According to investigators, no physical evidence, including DNA, fingerprints, or a weapon, was ever found connecting Benson to the crime. Instead, the case against him was built primarily on the testimony of 2 people, including a person standing 150 feet away from the scene in the dark, and a man Benson said held a grudge against him who did not witness the shooting, according to the lawsuit. That's pretty flimsy. Police did not make a single attempt to verify Benson's alibi, according to the lawsuit, and willfully ignored multiple leads pointing to the other suspect. Cops. Such idiots. Evidence withheld by police instead pointed to a man who became an informant for federal law enforcement. Of course, it was one of their own, according to the lawsuit in the National Registry of Exonerations. The decision not to investigate the other man as a suspect in Sean's death had the added benefit of protecting convictions that were gained by using him as an informant, the lawsuit said. They're so sick. We're all expendable to law enforcement officers. They're not like normal Americans. They're also not like normal people. They're very evil. And they come from a long line of evil, okay? In 2022, one of the officers involved in the case signed a sworn declaration saying critical exculpatory evidence was not turned over during Benson's initial hearing, according to the lawsuit. Withholding evidence that could have absolved Benson of guilt violated his constitutional right to due process, leading to a wrongful conviction, according to the complaint. Goodness, they ruin lives, folks. It's really sad. We just can't respect law enforcement officers at all. The lawsuit seeks compensatory and punitive damages and attorney's fees. A jury trial has been requested. The University of San Francisco, in partnership with the Conviction Integrity Unit of the Marion County Prosecutor's Office, reinvestigated Benson's case, and his first-degree murder conviction was vacated on March 8th, 2023. After all those years in prison. Benson is the first person to be exonerated by the Conviction Integrity Unit. Well, I'm glad they did it. Okay. Well, okay, let's move on. Okay, you guys, we have Memphis, Tennessee. A Memphis police officer was arrested after police say he was driving under the influence when he crashed his car inside a parking garage. According to the affidavit, Joshua Bowles was taken into custody around 5 p.m., Oh, he's a Sunday driver, is he? Sunday afternoon, he was charged with DUI, public intoxication, and drivers to exercise due care. Okay, whatever. Officers responded to the premium parking garage, at 21 2nd Street, where a woman advised that she was driving her car down the garage when a black Dodge Charger, he's got a cool Dodge Charger, hit the right side of her vehicle. Oh. Reports say officer arrived at the scene to find the Dodge Charger stopped in the middle of the road and was still running with the driver's side door open and the driver asleep behind the wheel. Oh, he was taking a little nap, you guys. Officer woke up the driver and asked for his identification. The man allegedly handed officers a credit card instead of his ID, but he was later identified as Bowles. That's funny. I love it, you guys. Okay, that's not nice. Police say Bowles was confused and advised officers that he was tired and had just got off work. Oh, he must have had a lot of drinking to do on the duty that he was on there. Multiple sobriety tests were conducted, but he allegedly failed all of them. Oh, MPD confirmed that Bowles has been relieved of duty pending the outcome of the investigation. He was released of his own recognizance and is scheduled to appear in court Tuesday morning. Oh, relieved of duty. All right. Okay, so our final bad apple of the day is the sheriff who gets the smackdown for being a social media star and essentially threatening to spoil the case and, taint the jury pool, like sheriffs like to do.
A weekly feature on the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Facebook page. Turn Yourself In Tuesday this week featured Michael Dorst.
Dorst's last known address was in Fort St. Lucie.
Pearson telling Dorst to turn himself in on warrants for trafficking fentanyl.
If you have any information about Dorst's whereabouts, contact your local law enforcement.
Grabbing Dorst's attorney's attention.
Yeah, so my reaction was surprised because we didn't know about that. That's not public record. And so immediately, I reached out to them and said, you should have just called me. You don't need to make TikToks.
Dorst was never on the run, as Minton says the video implies.
He's at his house, which they ultimately went and got him at his house because this case has been pending for 2 years. He comes to court every time.
A new warrant only issued, Minton says, because a charge had to be changed.
It's just not truthful.
Minton Tuesday asking a judge for a gag order to stop Sheriff Keith Pearson from making posts about Dorst's case.
The court has inherent power to gag law enforcement from doing things that potentially threaten to poison the jury panel against Mr. Dorst.
While counsel for the sheriff's office argued the sheriff was doing as directed under the warrant.
And once again, Your Honor, we're doing exactly what we were required to do by statute, is to attempt to effectuate service on this warrant. A takeist is a warrant. It is a take into custody. It is a take a person to jail.
Yes, I am directing Keith Pearson to make an immature, unprofessional, downright asinine video about Mr. Dorst. So do not say in this hearing that I directed Keith Pearson to act in the manner that he acted.
The sheriff did issue a statement to me after the hearing saying, in part, it is our role to take any individual with an active warrant into custody, whether reporting arrests live from the scene of a crime, notifying the public of active warrants, or highlighting the amazing work of the dedicated men and women of the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office. This agency's utilization of social media has proven effective, and we encourage the public to continue to follow us to stay informed.
It's just for likes. And that's not what law enforcement should be doing.
The judge ended the hearing clarifying the sheriff's office is also not involved in this case. It's a Port St. Lucie police investigation the judge says the sheriff should not involve himself with.
The sheriff, who, as his counsel has pointed out, has nothing to do with this case, decides to continue involving himself in this case and posting these ridiculous videos, then I will have to reevaluate whether a gag order is necessary to make sure that Mr. Dorst gets a free trial.
Thank you so much for watching the Bad Apple Report today and every day right here at home on the range. I'm sitting out here with these peaches and I thought I'd end with this close-up. Look at this, you guys. I'm out here guarding them from the squirrels like I have to do in the morning. But I really appreciate you being here today and every day right here at home on the range. You're awesome. And I'm going to whip up another batch of bad apples for you tomorrow. And we'll see you right here at 7:30 a.m. Have a great day.
Everybody really wanna feel no pain, no pain, no pain at all. Everybody really wanna feel no shame, no shame.